What's good, YouTube? It's Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with another video. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. If you want a t-shirt, you can message me on Facebook. I got different type of logos and images. You can get any color shirt, or you can change the logo on the shirt. Just message me on Facebook if you're interested. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade. Basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Jamal Murray, a guy that I was talking to a lot of people the last couple of years, and Jamal Murray was a guy they said Moutier can't shoot, he can't create his own shot, he's not good, he's not a good enough passer, he's not an elite defender, and I think that Jamal Murray gonna take his spot. And after they drafted Moutier, the next year they drafted Murray, the next year Murray was the starter, and Moutier was out of Denver, having a chance to redeem himself in New York. And he hasn't even came off his rookie scale contract, and they gave up on Moutier that fast because the potential and the shooting ability of Jamal Murray. And he's a guy that was a lottery pick. A lot of people liked him in college. He was a clutch player in college. He had a okay summer league. Was a little disappointed in summer league, but his only summer league. He had to learn. He had to get adjusted to the physicality. He had to get used to the tough shot making because he didn't play with elite playmakers NBA NBA level talent around him. So he had to do what was best. But his rookie year was a solid rookie year. Didn't really blow us out of the water, but he only started 9 games that year. He only got 21 minutes, and he had a lot of inconsistencies that year because of the minutes. One game he'd get 15, one game he'd get less than that, and sometimes he'd just play only in the fourth quarter when it's garbage time. So his numbers was a little misleading, and when he started getting more minutes, he started putting up better numbers, but he still was very streaky from the field and from the three, but he started getting the hang of it by the end of the year. So Jamal Murray is a special talent. Especially with the ability to create a shot off the dribble. He's not a typical shooter. He's a guy that can create his own shot and become a shot maker, and now he's a playmaker because of that shot. His ability to knock down that three and get to the paint. He's not an elite finisher. He's not a great finisher, but I just like his aggressiveness to still try to attack the paint and get layups, even if it's off the three-point line or it's somebody closing out to you and you just beat them off the dribble because they didn't want you to get the three. I like his attitude that, hey, I can still get to the rim and I'm not afraid to go there. And you need that type of mentality to keep the defense balanced and off his heels. If you're just going to shoot a three, then it's easier to guard you. And that's why I like the potential of a guy like Jamal Murray, because he already has the shooting there. All he has to do is work out, painting out his jumper, having the same repetition in his jump shot, and at the end of the day, knocking down threes to the best of his ability. But it does help having guys like Gary Harris and them that can already shoot 40% from three. They can help make his job a lot easier. They can help make him easier too, because he is surrounded by shooters on this team. And that gives you the floor space, and that gives you a little bit more space because of the shooting, then the respect that these guys have around the league when it comes to shooting the ball. And I kind of figured that when I seen Jamal Murray in his rookie year, I kind of figured like this guy's going to be the starting point guard. He's going to get those minutes, and then he ended up getting a lot more at the end of the season because you can just see that he has potential to be a star. He might not ever be a superstar because of his athleticism, because he's not explosive enough. But if he kind of figure out basketball IQ wise what he can and what he can't do, and add that, and we'll polish it up to the point where it's a specialty of his, whether it's just coming off screens, knocking down threes and jumpers, and getting some transition baskets every once in a while, he can rack up 18, 19, 20 points. Now, it's going to be harder for him to consistently make an all-star game unless he put up better numbers, because he is in the West, and the West is guard deep at the 1 and the 2 position. So you really have to be putting up great numbers, because a spot going to go to Chris Paul, a spot going to go to Curry, a spot going to go to Russell Westbrook. You still have James Harden, and you still have Jimmy Butler and guys like that are better than you, and you're trying to be better than them when they're still playing great basketball. So it's going to take a Victor Oladipo like performance for him to even get into that, because you gotta look at guys like Devin Booker putting up better numbers than he is, and he's not even close to making an All-Star team. You look at a guy like C.J. McCollum, he's putting up better numbers than Jamal Murray, and he hasn't even came close to making an All-Star game. So it's going to be difficult, but winning comes with that. If you can win games, if you can knock down shots efficiently, if you can stop turning the ball over, and if you can improve that floater game and add more of that to your game, because you're not going to always be able to get all the way to the rim, and you want to have some other tricks up your sleeve if that fails. So I think him adding that little push shot, adding that little floater in that 15 and under range will definitely help balance out his scoring and add a better weapon if he can knock it down consistently and really perfect that shot. And I think like the scoop layups will be helpful too, having the ball extended so you can get the shot off, because he isn't, like I said, the most explosive or the most athletic point guard in the league. So him finding ways to use his body, use his footwork will also help him get to that next level, because it's not all about speed and athleticism for him. He's going to have to find a way to create shots for himself consistently and still knock down the shots that's open efficiently. And you can see his field goal and his three-point percentage be at great levels if he can just find a way to trust his teammates a little bit better and have that confidence in his stroke and consistency in that stroke. And he can be a dangerous player. I can see Jamal Murray giving you 20 points and 5 assists. Now, that's not mind-blowing numbers, and that's why I brought up the other All-Stars, because they're already doing something similar to that, and they're not even close to making an All-Star game. So the number one way for him to get in the All-Star game will be winning, putting up great numbers on a team that's winning. And that's going to be hard, because they're going to give more of the credit to Jokic, because he's giving you the rebounds, he's giving you the assists, and he's giving you decent numbers from, the scoring. So he's going to be the guy if Denver had to get an All-Star because of their record and their great playoff play. It would be Jokic or Millsap that will get more of the credit, because they're more versatile players than a guy like Jamal Murray, and they do more things as complete players. And that was one of my problems with Jamal Murray coming into the draft was, what is his ceiling? Is his ceiling a superstar? Is his ceiling an all-star? Or his ceiling is just being that third or fourth option? I don't think I have a problem with any of those, because, you only can do what your body allows you. You only can do what you physically able to do. He doesn't have this long athletic body. He doesn't have a long wingspan, so he's limited to how far he can reach his potential. Obviously, you want to get as far as you can and develop the most you can, because your job is to play basketball. The way you eat is playing basketball, and the way you're going to continue to eat is continuing to evolve and fitting into what you can do to stay on the roster. And right now, for him to be a starter and for them to give up Moutier after 2 seasons, it shows you how much confidence that they have in a guy like Jamal Murray to potentially be that starting point guard for them in the playoffs. And like I said, I always feel like the Denver Nuggets, the way this roster is currently built, they don't have like a superstar. They don't have like a dominant player. The closest thing they have is Millsap and Jokic, but they're more of a 2 or 3 best player on the team. I don't think neither one of them should be your best player on your roster. I think there should be at least the third or the fourth, or the second or third option on your team. And having 2 of those guys might be good enough to win you 51, 52 games if fully healthy, but they're not going to beat the Warriors. They're not going to outplay the Rockets until they get that elite talent. And them accumulating these young guys can really help them get there. Guys like Will Barton, guys like Herman Gomez, guys like Trey Lyles, and even Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, and even Gary Harris. They're going to have to either trade 2 of those guys, or at least get the best out of those guys and try to trade them plus a pick, or them plus another player, to get that superstar guy that can potentially take them over the top. Because Gary Harris is a shorter shooting guard. He's about the same size as Jamal Murray, and they have similar play styles. So they're going to have to eventually make that move that puts them in that contention for a championship. And hopefully we can see if they develop these guys. Hopefully Jamal Murray can surprise us, or even like Damian Lillard, he's not the longest, fastest, or athletic guy, but he's still giving you 28 points a game, and he was an all-NBA first-team guy. None of us really seen that coming, especially with Steph, Chris Paul, Russell, and them guys in the league. We never thought that the point guard position would go to a guy like Damian Lillard. Even though he is one of the better top 5 point guards in the league, none of us see it really happening when you look at all the point guards in the league, and there's several point guards in the league that's better than Damian Lillard. So he got the best out of his abilities, and he became the franchise guy for that team. Even though I don't think they're going to win a championship with Damian Lillard being their best player, especially in the salary cap that they have in a place like Portland. But Jamal Murray, we never know. Maybe he becomes a 23, 25 point scorer that can get you 45 from the field, 40% from three, 85 to 90% from the free throw line, give you 25, 23, 6 assists, and make that All-Star as a reserve, or make it the All-Star game as an injury replacement, and helps Jokic really. Paul Millsap and Jokic, they get easy baskets because they're playing with so much floor spacing and so many dynamic guards on that court. But he does need to work on his ball handling. He does need to work on his pull-up game. He does need more go-to moves so he can get his shot off late in the shot clock, or even creating it when the ball is given to him. That pull-up, stop, pop three only going to get you so far, because that's one of the more difficult shots. But if he can create like a step back, or a driving floater, or even, a dribble, create space, pull-up jump shot from 15 and under, or even just a pick and pop jump shot with Jokic or Millsap, if he can knock those shots down consistently, or even just read the defense and have a counter to what they're doing just by studying film, he can really just become more efficient, take a little bit more shots, and then he's at 20 points a game. He's already at 16, and he was a little inconsistent this year. So year 3, he should understand better. His body should be better, and his mentality going to be different than when he's a rookie and a sophomore, and he's more comfortable with his teammates, more comfortable with his role, and he knows what he has to do to improve, because the coaches and him already know it by watching footage from the last 2 games and failing to make the playoffs. They had more time to work on it because they was out of the playoffs. They wasn't playing at all because they missed it. So he had more time to work on his body, and more time to work on his game because of the layoff of not making the playoffs. So I think Jamal Murray will get there. He's already a starter. He's already getting the minutes. He's already a above average 3-point shooter. He's a good free throw shooter, even though he don't get to the free throw line enough. Because he's not athletic and explosive and very physical. But 3 times a game isn't terrible. It isn't bad, especially when you shoot 90% from the free throw line. But one thing I will say, 3.4 assists ain't going to cut it, especially when you averaging 2.1 turnovers a game. And even though he is shooting 45 from the field and 37 from 3, he's only shooting 13 shots a game. If you want him to be that third guy, or even that fourth option, you got to at least get it up to 15 to 16. And remember, Paul Millsap ain't really a part of the bigger picture. He just about making them more competitive now. More or less being that franchise guy for him. So adding Paul Millsap, they had the cap, they had the space, they had the opportunity. But once his contract is over, he's not going to be on his team unless he takes a significant pay cut. But he was more of a pickup to get them in the playoffs, more of a pickup to take them to that next level of contending in the playoffs. But he wasn't that guy that was going to solve all their problems and put them over the top. They still have ways to go to be one of the best teams in the West, and they still have ways to go to be a contender in the West. But it is a good young team that's fun to watch and have shooting, and have a guy that can create their own shot with Millsap, and a guy that can create his own shot and shots for other, and Jokic. So this team is young, this team is raw, and they're still developing, but they are one of the teams that a lot of people are excited about because of their potential. And Jamal Murray is one of the guys that a lot of people are excited about because of his potential, and how far he can get with that potential will be up to him and his work ethic. And let me know what you guys think. Do you think he will become an all-star eventually? Do you think he'll never be an all-star? Do you think he can be the number 1 option? Do you think he'll always be a second or third or fourth option? Or do you think, he's just a solid starter, and with his ability to shoot the 3, he's always going to be valuable in the league, whether he's a 6th man or just a guy coming off the bench, or he can always be kind of that 4th or 5th option on a championship team, just being a starting point guard for them, and just adding 3-point shooting, which we done seen happen before with lesser point guard. So let me know what you guys think about Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets, and let me know if you think he's going to be an all-star, is he going to be a superstar, or are people underrating him, overrating him, or is people sleeping on him? So check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description in the comment section below. If you want a t-shirt from my website or from my Facebook, message me on Facebook. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. You can pick any color t-shirt, any color logo. I can change the color of the logo. I can change the color of the t-shirt. Just message me if you want a shirt, and I can get it sent out to you. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about Denver Nuggets and Jamal Murray potentially becoming championship contenders in the future.